Feeling anxiety is totally normal. It's because you're a human being. In fact, our brains are wired to be on alert for threats, which used to be really handy, when you had to watch out for lions that could eat you. Now we're pretty safe. You're in your home, your office, transportation. Not a lot of opportunities for you to get eaten. However, let's imagine that you went on safari. Then you'd understandably be on higher alert than you are typically when you are at home. But it would be temporary. It would be while you were on vacation and while you were on the safari. This coronavirus pandemic is different. It's because it's this prolonged time of anxiety. You might have already been feeling anxious for weeks already, maybe even more over a month, and it looks like we've got a long road ahead of us. And what really stinks is that there's so many different aspects of our life being touched. Most importantly, you might feel anxious or worried about your health and the health of your loved ones, but you've also just got the way you're used to getting around in the world, your work, your finances. It can be pretty overwhelming. All of that, along with the unknown and uncertainty and mixed in with being stuck at home and the stress of that, is enough to put a lot of people over the edge. So if your anxiety is a lot higher than you're used to or higher than you expected, that's understandable. Give yourself some grace. I have in this video 15 amazing tips that will help you to bring that anxiety down throughout the rest of this coronavirus pandemic. So if you're new here, welcome. Please say hello in a comment. My name is Shannon Elhart. I am a counselor, author, speaker, and the creator of The Healing Journey, which is an alternative to traditional therapy that you do in the comfort of your home. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I'm passionate about helping people heal pain from their past, even if that pain happened decades ago. And I don't believe you have to talk endlessly about the painful experience or about how you suffered in order to heal. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and hit the little bell so you'll know every time I release a new video. Hey, one more quick thing before I give these 15 tips. Make sure you watch this video all the way through the end because I have a little special treat for you at the end. I'm giving away some copies of my book, The Healing Gift of Gratitude, because I'm just trying to spread some love in the world right now. So I'll explain how you can win a copy at the end. Tip number 1, minimize how much news you watch. It's understandable that you want to be informed. I do as well, but there's a big difference between being informed and being inundated or overwhelmed with too much information. Not to mention a lot of it out there is so dramatic and really depressing. So just minimize how much you watch because what you're intaking, what you're bringing into your mind is definitely affecting your emotions. Tip number 2, seek out positivity. On the flip side of the news, look for things that are going to lift your spirit. People, information, fun videos on YouTube, anything that's going to lift your optimism, make you feel good, make you feel happy. Just seek those opportunities out more than you do normally. It will help, I promise. Tip number 3, exercise, preferably in nature. Exercise is always good for you. It reduces adrenaline and cortisol, which are related with stress and overwhelm, and it increases those endorphins that will bring you joy and peace and happiness. So it's always good. But right now, when we're under the anxiety of this, global pandemic, it is even more important to get out or move your body. Getting outside in nature, just like doing both of those at once, would be excellent. Even if you're stuck in a city, if you can go out on your balcony and just do some yoga moves, but just get outside, get some fresh air, hear the birds chirping, look at the clouds, and move your body. It will do a world of good. Tip number 4, connect with others as often as you can. Your connections are probably so different now, especially if you're used to working outside of your home and you got to hang out with coworkers a lot. Now you're really limited. You might live alone or maybe you live with some family members. but you're not able to really expand and be around a variety of people. So be creative and make it happen. You've got to take that initiative. Thankfully, we've got things like Zoom and Skype and FaceTime so we can see people, but there are things like House Party that you can get online or get on your phone and gather with people and play games that are kind of like Pictionary and things. I've done it once. It was really fun. But also think outside the box. You could grab a couple friends and say, hey, let's all watch a movie together, but you do it while you're sitting online or on your phone, or you watch the movie and then you get together and talk about it like, oh my God, what do you think about that plot line and that character? Or you could binge on a series on Netflix or Hulu and chit chat about it. I don't know, go for a walk on opposite sides of the street, anything to get that social connection, because we really need it as human beings, don't we? So get creative and make it happen. It will help so much. Tip number 5. Get enough rest and self-care every day. Getting enough rest and self-care is going to help you in many ways. It's going to help you to remain more calm and grounded and at peace and happy, but it's also going to help keep your immunity strong, which is, kind of important right now. So think of what you can do. If you like bubble baths, take a bubble bath or a long hot shower, or make sure you're eating healthy. If you and your partner like to get foot massages, then trade foot massages every night. Like, do whatever you need to just take care of yourself, to get enough rest, and do some of that self-care. Tip number 6, if possible, help someone. Of course, this might not be possible, or it might not be something you're comfortable with, but if it is possible and if it feels okay for you to get out and maybe volunteer by bringing, food to people who are in need, or just helping in some way, making masks for our amazing healthcare staff, doing something to help others is just, I don't know about you, but it feels great to help others, but I feel like I almost benefit more than the other people because I feel so great that I was able to help people. So yeah, just find a way that you can do some good, and it's going to end up doing you some good as well. Tip number 7, practice being in this moment. The truth is, you only have this moment, and so do I, because the past is done and over with. The future is yet to happen, and yes, we can influence that the best that we can, but we really don't have control over the future. I think this global pandemic has made that abundantly clear. But the more you can practice being present in the moment, and this really is just for overall life advice, the happier you're going to be. Because the truth is, in this moment, you must be okay. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be watching this video, right? So you are okay right now. Is it ideal that we're in the middle of a global pandemic? No, it's not ideal. It wasn't expected, but it is what it is. If you need some help with this, I am leading some free guided meditations Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and you are welcome to join me. You just jump on Zoom and listen, and I chit chat and teach some stuff about mindfulness and meditation and breath work and just living more peacefully. And then I guide people through about 11 minutes of a meditation, because that's been proven to reduce cortisol, which is the hormone released when you are stressed. So feel free to join me. Just look wherever you're watching this, somewhere around this video, for a link about that, the free guided meditations. Let's go on to the next tip. Do everything you can to stay healthy, and then stop worrying. If you're following all the guidelines and doing everything you can do to stay healthy and to keep your loved ones healthy, that's really all you can do. Worrying obsessively is not going to help. It's not. It does nothing except make you feel worse. So I love this quote. This quote always knocks me out of worrying. Worrying is like praying for what you do not want. I mean, that just sounds silly, right? Why would you want to pay a lot of attention thinking about something you don't want to happen? So just do everything you can, be smart, which I trust you're doing, and then give up the worrying. It really just is so pointless. Tip number 9, create a positive vision for your future. I know I just said that it's best to stay in the present moment, and that is still true. But if you are going to let your mind wander to the future, which it's easy to wander to a future that is scary because, all the stuff that's going on, Allow your mind to wander to something that's positive, something that is uplifting, that you can anticipate and feel excited about. So pick a dream that you would like to bring into your life in the future. For me, that would be a trip to Bali, a vacation to Bali. So what I would do is create a vision where I could close my eyes and I can imagine that I'm sitting on the beaches in Bali, and I can hear the water crashing, the waves crashing on the shore, and hear the birds calling, and feel the sun shining on my body. And maybe I have a nice cool drink next to me, and my book, and my favorite people in the world with me, and we're just having a lot of fun. So you want to bring in as many of those senses as you can, and feelings, emotions. Feel the joy, feel the peace, feel the excitement. Now, I don't know whether I'll get to Bali, but I know imagining a happy future where I'm chilling out in Bali is a lot better than imagining me suffering through getting sick or anything worse. So create that positive future vision. And then anytime you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or you just need a happy break, just close your eyes and go there. It's a lot better place to go than down all the scary thoughts that are so easily found right now. Tip number 10, allow all your emotions without judging yourself. Most people don't get very good lessons about emotions, so let me just make something really important clear to you. You are a human being, so you are supposed to have all those emotional experiences. You're supposed to feel anger and fear and depression and jealousy, and that's because you are human. So don't beat yourself up, but also don't stay there. Of course you might have days when you feel really fearful because, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's kind of scary. So allow yourself to feel that without judging your fear, and then find ways to move out. And in this video, this is what I'm providing, ways to move out of those uncomfortable emotions. I'm going to give you my favorite tip, and then number 12 is really helpful with this too. So my favorite tip right now is to, anytime you have an uncomfortable emotion, if you're feeling angry or fearful or jealous, back up a little bit and ask yourself, what am I thinking about? If you can figure out what you're thinking about and then change what you're thinking about or how you're thinking, your emotional state will also change. It's like inevitable. So that's my favorite tip, but tune into number 12 too, because that's also really helpful. Tip number 11, start planning a fun event for when you can socialize again. Now, of course, we don't know when that's going to happen. I really hope it's sooner than later that we can get together into larger groups and go out and have fun and go dancing and whatever you're into. But we can't right now. However, start planning something really fun. Maybe it's a full day, like just packed with fun things with a big group of friends or with your family, but things that you're going to do as soon as you're able to get out of your house and really socialize. If you can, whatever you're planning, involve other people with the planning of it and get creative. Can you do like a breakout room or go to some museums, or maybe you all get massages and then go out for dinner and drinks? Think about what you and your friends, your loved ones love to do, and create something really fun, and just say, as soon as we're able to do this, we are setting a date and we're all going to have a wonderful day together. Tip number 12, intentionally bring calm into your life every day. There are lots of ways you can bring peace into your life, but right now be really intentional about doing so. So my favorite method to bring peace into my life is to meditate. So I start every day with meditation, and I usually meditate more than once. And it really helps me to stay grounded and stay at peace and just really be more in control of my mind running in ways that doesn't help. So you could use meditation, prayer, journaling, breath work, reading sacred or religious texts, or reading books that are inspiring, anything that's going to help you just relax and bring peace in and keeping your mind really positive. And I mentioned it before, but if you're interested in coming along with me with guided meditation, I do that Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I will provide a link for that. Just look around this video. I'd love to have you join me. Tip number 13, remember these 3 things. First, this will pass. I know we don't have an end in sight. I really wish we did, and there's a lot that we have to do. But we do know this will end. This pandemic will be over someday, hopefully sooner than later. So just remember, this is temporary. It's hard. It's harder than probably anything we've been through, and we're all going through it. And all the unknowns and the uncertainty is scary, but it will end. Tip number 14, you are not alone. Nearly half the world is directly impacted by this pandemic, and we will get through this together. Remind yourself that you truly aren't alone, even if you're living alone, which I admit would be really difficult. You aren't alone in this struggle. You aren't alone in this fear and this worry and wondering what's going to be the end result. So just know that even if you feel really alone, you feel unsupported, you are going through this basically with most of the entire world. Tip number 15, and the last thing to remind yourself of, is to distinguish what you can from what you cannot control. Now, there are a lot of things we can control. You can control how often you wash your hands, for example, but there are a lot of things out of our control. So just focus on what you can control and let the other stuff go. I hope this has been really helpful. If you have an idea on how to reduce anxiety that I did not think of, please add it to a comment down below or around this video. Not only will I enjoy reading it, but anyone else who reads your comment will also appreciate it. So now let me share with you how you can win a copy of my book. Share a comment and you could win. Answer the following question and you'll be entered to win a copy of my book. The drawing is on the 15th of May, 2020, and I'm going to announce the winner on YouTube. So watch for your name. My book is, just so you know, The Healing Gift of Gratitude. Live a happier, more peaceful life with a unique practice of gratitude. So here's the question to answer. What tip will you try so you can reduce anxiety, and why are you going to try that tip? I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was really helpful for you. Please share it with anybody who you think it would benefit. And if you enjoyed this content, I would love to connect with you more. Just hit subscribe and don't forget to get that little bell so that you are notified anytime I release a new video.